You are listening to the Postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and the Glebe Central Pub. Make sure you check out the Glebe Central Pub right in the heart of the Glebe for great food, awesome drinks, the atmosphere to match. Glebe Central Pub, they also have live music every Saturday night. So let them know that Locked On Senators sent you to 779 Bank Street. I'm Ross Levitan. We got the whole crew here for Game 81. Brandon Piller and The Martian at Lalim's Martian on social media. Go throw him a follow there. And Pillsy, this was a 4-0 shutout loss to the New York Rangers, but at least the Sens can say they lost to the best team in the NHL.
Yeah, and the best team in the NHL really showed how far away the Ottawa Senators are from being not only the best team in the NHL, but even in playoff contention here, as the Rangers were playing with their food by the end of this. I mean, they were doing the "we want 50" chants for Panarin, and Panarin was literally just slinging it on net, being like, it's probably going to go in. If I can get it on net a couple times, it'll just find its way in here. And that was pretty much their main goal, was to get him 50. Shesterkin gets the shutout here, and the Rangers faithful, they get to leave happy from Madison Square Garden as they now win the President's Trophy. Must be nice.
But Martian, you said this could be a good tank cast.
This is a perfect tank cast, Ross. What do we want? I mean, the Habs come away with a point there tonight against the Detroit Red Wings. So for us, yeah, this is more than ideal. We got our nice home ice victory on Saturday against the Montreal Canadiens. Yep. That's all we wanted, boys. You know, we can ride off of the sunset here in this season, I feel like. So yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's gonna be okay.
Not only was this the last home game for the Rangers, it was actually game 82 of the season. So the Rangers are done and in first place, President's Trophy clinch, and they just pulled this game away in the third period. Like 5-on-5 shot share still favored Ottawa in this game, but in the third period, that line I brought up this morning on Locked On Senators, Panarin with Lafreniere and Trocheck, they scored 2 goals. Panarin's 49th of the year on a sneaky little tip from the high slot. And then Lafreniere puts home just an unreal passing play. Like right when I saw that, like it's men against boys, eh, Martian?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that power play, you can tell there's so much talent on it. And Panarin, you were mentioning him earlier, Pilsy, already, and he was just letting it sling out there. He was firing the puck, and as soon as you saw him get a little frustrated, you know, missing a couple good chances, you could tell that he wasn't going to be denied tonight. He wanted to get there.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't just the power play for the Rangers that was clicking. The Rangers' penalty kill had way better chances than the Ottawa Senators' power play. I mean, they score a shorthanded goal, and then Jimmy Vesey gets a penalty shot while they're killing penalties. So the Rangers just outclassed the Ottawa Senators here in all aspects of the game.
If there's any stat guys in the comment section, please pull this up. Otherwise, I'll reach out to John Perlberg of TSN. But this has to be the only time in franchise history that the Senators have given up back-to-back games with a shorthanded goal to a defenseman. Mike Matheson on Saturday night, and then tonight, Adam Fox. Shorthanded goals by defensemen in back-to-back games. But look, the season's just winding down, and at the end of this game, I just wanted Brady to get one. I want him to hit 40. Now it's unlikely. Needs a hat trick in the last game of the season for that to fly, and just all these milestones that were the last thing that we were holding on to feel like they're just slipping away because Boston's coming off getting shut out tonight to Washington. Yeah. They're going to want to play a lot better tomorrow in what is their final game of the season on home ice and game 82. So yeah. I just wanted a little offense, even when it was slipping away.
Yeah, I know. And well, hopefully the Bruins decide to maybe shut a couple guys down for that game tomorrow night and just say, hey, you know, playoffs are coming up. Let's just let the Sens kind of have a cookie here, and let's put a weak squad against a weak squad, because Ottawa's beat up too, man. It might as well be shutting all their big boys down, right? With Tim Stützle out, really Greg sick as a dog out there. They're not exactly icing their A lineup for this for tomorrow either. So yeah, it could be just a nice little weak lineup game, I guess. It's definitely not going to be the game to watch for most NHL fans, I'll tell you that. But it will be for us, boys.
No, we're going to be watching. We're going to be postcasting right after. It's game 82, and we appreciate everybody in the chat. Obviously, not the most meaningful game, especially when there's others around the league that do matter, or life and death. It just kind of shines a light even brighter on those games and leaves the Sens in the shadows. The only storyline coming out of this game was the Rangers. Can they be the best team in the league? They do, and they do it in dominant fashion over the Ottawa Senators. The Sens' old fourth line that we're like, hey, it's a decent fourth line. Well, when they become the third line, not ideal. And the Senators for back-to-back games had to deal with a mid-game injury, albeit to a bottom six player. Mark Kastelic left Saturday's game. He didn't play tonight. Tonight it was Boko Imama, didn't come out for the third period after taking a shot off the hand in the second. So they have a Stapchuk up right now. And the thing is, and correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, but I'm pretty sure that the reason why that they couldn't play a Stapchuk, even if they wanted to, was they had to have him as an emergency call-up if they fell below 12 forwards and 18 players on the roster. They're carrying extra forwards, and Kubalik was able to come back in. So even though Casty came out, they would have needed Ridley Gregg as well to come out of the lineup to allow a Stapchuk to play. So he's already with the team, traveling to Boston, I'd imagine. So if Boko Imama can't go, I'd imagine, Pilsy, that we get to see Zach Stapchuk one more time this year.
Yeah, that's probably the reason, Ross. Otherwise, like, why would you rush a Stapchuk up so early if you thought you could get him in without that happening, right? So it would have been nice to see Zach Stapchuk in this game, especially with kind of his history up against Rempe, and it would have been nice to see anyone get a scrap up against Rempe, but I think he was under pretty strict orders from Laviolette, like, okay, we're going to run this
penalties only.
Yeah, yeah. Although that was a soft call. I don't blame Rempe for being pissed off about that one. But I think the coaches were like, we're going to run the score on these guys. It's not worth the trouble, kid. Just keep your head up out there.
Yeah, we'll see if we get him tomorrow, because Imama did take that block shot off the hand. Not exactly the way you would expect him to, possibly injure his hand out there, especially when you're playing the Rangers and they got Rempe, right? If you would have told me at the end of the game that, Imama broke his hand in this game or hurt his hand, I'd be like, oh yeah, he got a fight with Rempe and he busted his hand on his head. But obviously that's not the case there. He kind of reached out to block a shot, and he tried to do the old street hockey save, as Noodles McLennan put it. So, and it didn't look like it was very comfortable for him. I think he's going to be fine, though. I think they may end up going and sending Imama down and using a Stapchuk if they can. Is it even possible?
Can't do it.
Well,
okay,
because they've used their 4 call-ups since the deadline, so they would need him to be an emergency only call-up. So he would have to wait until Wednesday. I'd imagine if he doesn't play tomorrow, then he'll be in Belleville's lineup on Wednesday. Either way, I mean, Belleville's got to get in the playoffs any way they can. 3 games left. We'll talk more about them on Locked On Senators, both Tuesday and throughout the rest of this week. That will culminate in 2 huge games for them. No matter how Wednesday goes, Friday and Saturday against Laval are going to be win and you're in, basically, performances for Belleville. But here at Madison Square Garden, it was a 4-0 shutout win for the New York Rangers. We will get to our Sen Central standouts, but boys, did you see the stat that TSN put up? This April, the Ottawa Senators are now 3-5. That's 8 games.
Yep.
Now, I'm not a math guy, but 60 minutes per game times 8 is a lot of minutes. The Senators have been leading for exactly 1 minute out of all that time. 1 minute. What's more wild, Pilsy? The fact that it's only been 1 minute, or that they have 3 wins in 8 games with 1 minute of leading time?
I mean, the Sens are perfect in the shootout, so as long as they get it to the shootout, they're going to get the W there, 5-0. So that's not surprising to me, Ross. It's the fact that you mentioned all those minutes, and the Ottawa Senators stat doesn't even get the plural on it. You don't even get the S on the end of minute. There is 1 minute. Full stop, period on that. Like, I mean, not even into the minute, exactly 1 minute of it. So that's tough.
And the funniest thing too, Pilsy, is we all remember that 1 minute because it came at the beginning of the game after they finally scored the first goal of the game. And we're like, yes, we got a lead here. We started the game with a lead, and then it dissipates immediately. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so Sens.
And if you thought that it was because they were rounding to a minute, no, I've got it up right here. This is the 1 minute the Sens have led in all of April. Feel the excitement. Brady Tkachuk opened the scoring in Tampa, and exactly 59 seconds plus 1 second, it was Connor Sherry And then I like the cherry on top that a couple minutes later, Tampa took the lead right away. They went. Ottawa, of course, did win that game. And Math Guy with 2 full 5-minute overtimes. You mentioned the shootout wins, Pilsy. That would leave it as 489 minutes where the Sens have not led this month. It is truly a remarkable statistic. And we're in a season full of remarkable statistics. The Ottawa Senators goaltending again tonight, not the problem, but still a performance that ends in an .882 save percentage. Igor Shesterkin, perfect at the other side. He makes 26 saves for the shutout, but wasn't overly tested, especially Ottawa goes, what was it, 0-for-3 on the 0-for-2? Ottawa goes on the power play with just 2 shots on goal. And Pills, you already mentioned it. The better chances came shorthanded. So frustrating all around. But do you guys think we'll be able to muster up 3 Sen Central standouts in this game?
We can try, but I don't even have one.
It was a pretty
I don't have one.
muddy
I don't know
game.
about you guys, but
You go first then, Bills.
I mean, if you guys have them, you might as well tee them up because I don't know. I'm not trying to diss the boys here, but I was looking back through my notes and racking my brain, and I was like, I don't think there's one here.
Well, let's give everybody a couple minutes to think it through. Senators lose 4-0 tonight in game 81. The New York Rangers have won the President's Trophy, and you can win a great time by going to the Glebe Central Pub. The Postcast is always brought to you by the Glebe Central Pub. Go visit them at 779 Bank Street and let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. When you go to the Glebe Central Pub, you know you're going to get great food. Like I did get those maple hot wings in me on Saturday night. The poutine was delicious as well. That's a good sharer. And you can also lean back every Saturday and enjoy live music at the Glebe Central Pub. Go check them out. They are at 779 Bank Street, right off of 2nd Street on Bank. And you can go there for great food, awesome drinks, and the atmosphere to match. They had a great dart tournament on Sunday to support women in STEL, women's going into science programs. So they're always trying to better the community, and they're always trying to have good times at the Glebe Central Pub. So off season, in season, the Glebe Central Pub is the place to go. You're heading into Lansdowne, stop by the Glebe Central Pub. Local beauties behind the bar, and not only that, but Blair's guaranteed to be there having a great time himself. So go check them out, 779 Bank Street, the Glebe Central Pub, and let them know that Locked On Senators sent you.
Dibs, the Glebe Central Pub is my Sen Central standout. This episode is also brought to you by our friends over at eBay Motors, because passion, drive, and patience, that's what brings home the winning trophy, and it's what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle, and you can level it up. They got superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. So whether you want speed, power, or style, you got to find it at eBay Motors. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you're always going to find what you're looking for. And with eBay's Guaranteed Fit part, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time, or you get your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not burning cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that W. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Check it out today, guys. eBay Motors.
Welcome back to the Postcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller and at Laleem's Martian. You can go follow him on Twitter at that handle. Martian, Hillsy, and I were all boots on the ground Saturday. You win at home. You send the fans home happy, most of them. And then you go on the road, plug your nose, and allow Shesterkin to get a shutout. Either way, there had to be a decent performance or two. The chat's going off. The Sen Central standouts. We're hearing eBay Motors. We're hearing Dashy. We're hearing Sue.
Yes.
We're hearing Shawarma Palace. But on the ice, Pillsy, give me one. Give me something. Who's your Sen Central standout in a 4-0 loss to the Rangers?
I'm not kidding. I don't have one. I honestly don't have one. I did.
He gave you 2 minutes.
I don't have one.
Hey, sometimes Pilsy, you don't have to give one. You just don't feel it. Just like I don't.
I'm not
something this time.
Exactly. I'm not trying to dilute the honor that is Sen Central standouts by just handing them out like they're fun coupons. Like this is a big deal, and I gotta have integrity here. So no Sen Central standouts on the ice from Pillsy. Glebe Central Pub. Let the record show Glebe Central Pub got this one.
Martian, do me one better.
I got one a little bit better for you, and it's going to take some work here. Okay, this is everybody take this one with a major grain of salt, because this Sen Central standout it's a little bit shameful for me to say for a guy who had an 882 save percentage here tonight. But I got to say, Korpisalo, he did make 30 saves tonight, which is a good amount, and he kept them in it for a good amount of the game here, especially when they were down 2-0. I feel like he made a lot of good quality saves during that time. And the other thing I'll say is the goals that the Rangers scored. I mean, don't give Chris Kreider a 2-on-1 at all against the Ottawa Senators, because he'll make you pay. Yeah. 2 of the goals came off 2-on-1s with Chris Kreider involved making that pass. And then the Lafreniere one, he had no chance on. So for me here, I'm going to have to stretch it out and go with Joonas Korpisalo as my central standout tonight. One better than Pilsy, barely better though.
Having a guy with an 882 save percentage is a standout in the game. I don't know if a goalie's ever been.
I don't know if the numbers really say. I don't know if the stats really tell the story on this one.
No, but that is fair. None of those goals were his fault. We didn't see his patented bad goals. So yeah. I don't know if I could do it, Martian, but you're a better man and you are able to.
And what's that? 21st, 22nd time he's allowed 4 or more goals in a game.
At least.
Yeah. Well, that's why we call him Korpisalo, boys.
Yeah,
I know it's sad, but again, another example of a 4-goal game against. But when you don't score any, it really doesn't matter whether it's 1, 2, 10. Doesn't matter. You're not going to win the game. And Sens offense did not.
Forget your roots here, fellas. It's a goalie-friendly show. So
I know it's hard when the team's 32nd in every goalie statistic. Like they're not like it's not like they're bottom third in every statistic. Like they're dead last.
Yeah.
And then what's that? Where it's like, there's the rich teams, there's the poor teams, then there's 100 pounds of crap, and then there's us. Yeah. That's from Moneyball, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
We're the Oakland A's guys.
That's a Brad Pitt line.
He says it better than I do.
No, you pretty much nailed that. That was well done.
Yeah, you did. That's pretty good off the top of the dome there, Ross.
Thanks, guys. So anything else you want to get to tonight?
Whoa. You talked a big game and now you don't have a Sen Central standout? Come on.
There's one more guy that was on my little list in case he took Korpisalo.
But you took Korpisalo instead?
That's where we're at right now.
You guys both get abstain and leave me with the one standout?
Yeah, an 880 standout and 4 goals allowed is the top choice here.
Guys.
Let that sink in.
No, I don't.
What about Matthew Joseph, Ross? I didn't think he had a terrible game. I thought, to me, he was one of the better guys.
How about Zach McEwen going 9 for 11 in the dot?
You could even go with Boku. Yeah, that's really good, actually.
That is good.
81%. And then the other one, of the 4 minutes Boko Umama played, they were pretty eventful, fun 4 minutes. You know, he had the good block, whatever, and then he was trying to get Rempe going, and so he did his job out there. So
yeah, fair.
Yeah, not really. Like I'm more concerned about just another. No,
that's what Boko Umama is supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, he played 3 minutes and 49 seconds, fellas. Like let's not act like he was.
Well, that's all he got. Imagine they gave him more. What could he have done?
The best ability is availability, and he wasn't available in the third period.
Oh, because he's a warrior blocking shots. Come on.
True.
Jesus.
You got to know why he's not.
Yeah.
I don't really want to. I really don't want to give one.
Wow.
This was
you gave Pilsy a hard time, and then you didn't.
I know, but I was
even shout out a sponsor.
And then you made me pick a goalie who's got an 882 save percentage. You got to pick one. You've got to.
You have to pick one.
I need you to.
I will take.
Although it is your show, so you can kind of do whatever you want.
No. We are held to a high standard of broadcasting on this show, a level of excellence.
Professionals. He doesn't have one.
No, I really don't. Like every guy who I want to say, I then just like think of a moment or two where they didn't play well tonight. Brady, I'll just go with Brady because he's been unreal lately.
Yeah.
So Brady's my standout. Led the team in hits, played over 20 minutes again. Bad night if you were a little euphoric after his 12-shot performance and we're like, I'm hammering the Brady over shots.
Like
They had
Martian.
one tonight. That's Martian. Well, I did it last game.
It is the one thing that ruined my parlay tonight was the Brady over shots, which is usually not the case.
Right? Tough, Martian.
And I will admit to the good people that I took the puck line for the Rangers tonight, which was a good bet, and I had Panarin to score, but Brady didn't get my shots. So sorry. I'll admit it. It's sacrilegious. It's not cool. But if the Sens are going to lose, I'm going to at least, line the pockets a bit.
I mean, the Rangers were like minus 250 on the money line. I was like, this isn't even worth it.
Well, that's why he did. Martian had him winning by 2, right? Or 3.
Brady, right. Chat's asking. Brady Tkachuk had 4 hits tonight, team high.
Nice.
You know, Brady, since the NHL trade deadline, Brady Tkachuk is first in the NHL in hits and shots on goal. Nobody has more in either. Yeah, wow, he has 101 shots. He had 101 shots on goal. I think McKinnon's second with 94. Like,
well, like in the last 3 games, I think he had 8 the other night, and then he had didn't he have was it 12 the one game
on Saturday?
So,
yeah, the one we were at.
Yeah, right. So that's 20 right there. So that's 2 games worth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's been playing. Like it's almost like I'm giving him the Drew Doughty Norris. Like I'm giving him Brady Tkachuk a little bit of a lifetime achievement here. Like nobody was that great, but of the people who weren't that great,
should have done instead of a standout was a stand down.
Yeah. Okay, how about this? I'm glad you brought that up because look, he had a great training camp. I was a little bit annoyed that he didn't get a chance to start in Ottawa, but this injury and end of season trading Tarasenko has allowed the organization, I'd assume, to see enough that Yuri Smejkal is not an NHL player.
Yeah.
So there's my stand down. -3 tonight in what, like 12 minutes?
Yeah, my quick stand down will be Dominic Kubalik for being out there on the power play for the entire year, basically almost on the second unit, and then not kind of coming back to the middle on that second shorthanded 2-on-1 that they ended up scoring on. So,
it's crazy. It is chilly at the bottom of the plus-minus scale for the Ottawa Senators. And like, there's such like a pack there between like -10 and -15, even -5, -15. And then you have to put on your Canada Goose before you get down to the bottom end here. Dominic Kubalik and Jacob Chychrun are -31 each.
Wow.
Stützle's next at -17. Like, that's what I don't understand. When players are so much of an outlier, even with their teammates, like whenever they get a minus, there's 2 defensemen out there. How is one of them so far below everybody else? I don't understand. I really don't.
It's insane. Yeah, those 2 guys have really struggled.
The next
it's a lack
lowest
of battling, Ross. We've been talking about this. Don't get me started. I told you, but
the next lowest defenseman in plus minus on the Sens this year is Travis Hamonic, and he's -10. Chychrun is -21, worse than that.
And he leads defensemen in points. Like,
not 5-on-5 points, though. We know that's our guy.
Definitely not.
Artem Zub, 24. And Sanderson and Chychrun are actually all tied at 24. Now that I mention it. Yeah. It's just it's one of those peculiar things this year, and we'll have plenty of time. Don't worry. We're going to be going over our hot takes expectations going into the year.
Oh, no.
How wrong were we about the 2023-24 Ottawa Senators? It's going to be our most viewed episode of the year.
Well, Ross,
these guys were wrong about a lot. Like, let me settle in, grab some popcorn and a drink.
Honestly, we should go back and watch ourselves before doing that, and where we just say, how out to lunch were we and wrong were we? Like,
yeah,
we should just, all of us should pull our worst clip of ourselves saying the most outrageous thing that we said in the preseason or before the season started. And I mean, I'm a loss for words, fellas, which is rare for me.
It's a deep breath type situation for the Ottawa Senators because Tonight was another opportunity for a screenshot game. Pills, you've been taking screenshots. Some of these lineups.
I got
at the
this
end of
one,
the
Ross.
season. You were a Ridley Gregg injury or illness game time decision from this being,
an all-timer. Yeah.
An all-timer.
Yeah.
The Ottawa Senators missing 3 of their 4 centermen. I was going to say from opening night, but on the depth chart, Norris Stützle and Mark Kastelik.
Yeah.
It's just obviously no Tarasenko kind of adds up over time because nobody's been able to fill that spot. Funny enough, just while I'm on the most useless stat, but again, outliers do matter in plus minus. Vladimir Tarasenko leads the Sens in plus minus plus 13.
Ridley was up there. What's he at now?
He's second. He's at plus 10.
Okay.
Shane Pinto at plus 8. And I think the most shocking thing is how Jake Sanderson's a plus 7 and Zoob's plus 3, playing the toughest minutes like they do. Branny plus 4 as well. Those are your plus players.
Actually, I'm surprised by the Brandstrom one, to be more honest with you. I think that's because he plays a penalty kill a lot, and that's where he gets caught a lot too. Which you can't always blame the guy who's playing the penalty kill for the goals against, because you're down a mountain, you got to take a guy. But I don't know. Net front battles sometimes on the PK even can look rough.
Yeah.
But good for him. Being plus 4 is surprising.
Yeah, agreed. So when we look at the season as a whole, we'll have plenty of time to do that. But tonight's game, it just happened. It's just one of those, like, I don't think there needs to be like a shift by shift dissection of it. The Ottawa Senators, they had their top line out there the most, and they couldn't do much on the power play tonight. It was kind of a perfect like tank loss on the road. Like, anyways, maybe not perfect because they didn't really go down with a fight. But you know what? I just keep thinking I'm so happy that wasn't what we saw on Saturday in Ottawa. So that's kind of my positive spin on this.
Yeah, thank goodness that wasn't the case on Saturday, because there would have been a lot of Habs fans cheering in our faces, and luckily for us, we were sheltered enough. You guys in Club Bell and me in the box with my beer league team, but that could have gone a lot worse for us for sure. So luckily, they were able to come up with one last good performance at least. We got one more left here tomorrow against Boston, so we'll see how that goes. But at home, at least, they're a good team. They were a good team.
And we can now look at the out-of-town scoreboards over the next couple of days. Tomorrow, we're going to be looking against the Montreal. We're going to need them to beat the Detroit Red Wings. Detroit can still kind of make the playoffs, but a lot's going to have to go right for either them or Philadelphia, Pittsburgh as well. I think in the most likely scenarios, what you see is what you get. Washington just needs 1 point tomorrow against Philly to get in, and the Islanders have also clinched. So shout out to Jean-Gabriel Pageau, who scored a goal tonight, and he'll be back in the playoffs. Playoffs are better with JGP doing his thing. But when we look and zoom in a little bit more at this, Ottawa can really go from anywhere between 5 and 7. That's it. The Sens at this point can draft between 5 and 7 into the lottery. So the odds are 8.5, 7.5, or 6.5. Like, I mean, we are going down to a 1 percentage point each time. So it's not going to be the end of the world. But I think you still probably you want the 2%. Right? Like I mean, whatever. How would you feel though if Ottawa does drop and then the team that had the 7th odds gets it?
Yeah, that's one of those things where you could drive yourself crazy looking at all that stuff, but math guy,
the way they do it is they use the balls too, so it's like it's totally random almost. Like the percentage almost doesn't really matter as much as like on this thing as it does with the like, because they just do it one time and then a certain ball gets sucked up and that's who wins it. It's not like, I know there's more balls of one team, but if you got 10 balls stuck at the bottom or whatever, you're never going to win it. So it's completely random the way they end up doing it. I actually don't like I don't know about you guys, but I don't really like how they use the ping pong balls in the suction machine. And then remember the year that New York's knocked the Leafs out of the way and they put it down.
That was the COVID. Yep.
Yeah, and
he's pretty good,
the Rangers ball right up, and I think they just barely missed the playoffs that year or something. That was the year that they switched it from having all the teams that missed the playoffs in there to just the bottom. What is it now? The bottom I don't even know.
Well, no, because that was COVID, so they came in for the qualifying series.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, it's such a crapshoot, literally. So,
and if they get first overall, you're coming to Vegas. We've got you on the record.
If they get first overall, that was I think the agreement, which
I'm pretty sure it was first or second.
That would be the only reason I hope the Sens don't do it. And depending on, I don't want to go.
All right.
Come on.
Let's get some spins in. Martian, you want first or last? I know that this is always fun.
Give me first. Let's get it over with.
Okay, there you go. This is the Martian special. Columbus moves up to draft first. San Jose, Chicago, Anaheim down one spot. Ottawa in 7th. And by the way, once this gets locked in, we will be tracking our picks once at the end of every show between the last day of the season or when it's set, when the draft order is set. So last day of the season until the draft lottery. Still no official date for that. Okay, Pilsy, should we give you or the Citizens next?
Citizens.
Salt Lake City.
Wow. I actually don't mind that. They deserve that.
That would be the biggest middle finger to the city of Phoenix.
Oh,
because they've been bad forever, and they've gotten 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th.
Yeah,
they haven't gotten first overall.
It'd be kind of fun to watch that one play out online, though.
Oh, buddy, it'd be so rigged. So rigged. Okay, here we go. Good job, Citizens, getting Arizona/Salt Lake City first overall. No other changes there. Arizona moves up from 6 to 1. All right, Pilsy spin.
Hit it.
Okay, not a great time today.
I don't like that.
Buffalo moves up to 2, up 9 spots, and Ottawa's down to 8. I don't like that at all, Pilsy. Let's see if I can end us off on a high note here. I can't. Chicago moves up 1 spot. San Jose down 1 spot. That would be a gut punch as well.
Yep.
Yeah,
these
Chicago,
might be.
They can't let Chicago have the first overall pick. I mean,
that might be one of the worst set of spins we've ever done. The Senators stay even or move down. That was brutal. That left me with zero confidence. That almost makes me think we need to really look into getting the out-of-town scoreboard our way over the next couple days. The games that will matter for that will be, well, Calgary and Seattle don't matter anymore after tonight's loss, so we don't have to worry about moving down even further. So we're looking for Arizona to beat Edmonton on Wednesday at home, which will be Mullet Mania, they're calling it, in that arena. And sad, but tickets are going for a wildly expensive amount. So we want Arizona to beat Edmonton on Wednesday, and we want Montreal to beat Detroit tomorrow night. So that's the path forward. Either way, the Senators have locked themselves into a top 10 pick. Even if somehow, miraculously, both teams below them win the 2 lotteries and they finish the lowest that they can in 7th, they're still drafting 9th. So that would be their highest pick since 2020. Obviously, they drafted 10th in 2021, and we don't have to talk about what happened to their top 10 pick in 2022. Yeah.
Or
but tonight, well, that was top 15. It was what, 12th? Daniil Elabut. Stop it. Spiegler mentioning it's 8-1 Edmonton right now, but McDavid still hasn't gotten his 100th assist.
Wow, damn.
How many goals?
Martian, you got a quick thought on how this playoff race is shaking out?
Yeah, I'm nervous that Detroit's going to get in because they've got the easiest schedule going in here. Obviously, they play Montreal, who's completely folded. They folded already midway through that game against Detroit earlier tonight. So we'll see if they do that again. Hopefully they have some pride. I'd like to think that maybe they do, but we'll see. That's the one that makes me the most nervous. I want Detroit to lose, and any of those other teams can win and get in, and I'll be fine. That's not the team I want to see in there. Although with their electric performance tonight, I'll give them credit. That was quite the comeback in the 3rd period. They were down 4-1 at one point, and they ended up coming back 4-2 in the 3rd. And then winning in overtime. So I don't want to see it, but I got to give them credit. That was kind of the kind of thing you can ride into the next day, no problem. So you got to think they're going to be coming out hot. There was an octopus getting thrown on the ice. I don't love that. I think
No.
Octopus. I mean, they're great animals. I don't know why these guys are throwing them out there. So we'll
Yeah, geez,
rude.
pretty disrespectful fan base, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't really like.
Sidney Crosby did his part tonight, goal and an assist for Sid the Kid. Pittsburgh stays alive, but they've got a tough path forward. Billsy, I'm leaning like obviously having Washington in there, they probably deserve it. Just based on I shouldn't say based on their season as a whole, because they actually have a minus 38 goal differential, if you can believe it. Islanders are minus 18 as well, but them making the playoffs like that, nobody in the West in the playoffs is below plus 21, and Washington's minus 38. But obviously having Obi back in the playoffs would be something. But Sid, the way he's playing right now, I wouldn't mind them in there either. So I'd be for Washington or Pittsburgh for that final spot. And I think they'd also give either Boston or Florida, I think they would give the Rangers. They would give the Rangers their best opportunity at an upset. So,
yeah, I don't think Washington would give them that much of a trouble. Pittsburgh maybe, but they're really leaning on Nedeljkovic heavily here. So he's going to be burnt out if they do make the playoffs. But I am excited that even though you obviously don't want Detroit to win that game, it makes tomorrow's Capitals-Flyers game pretty interesting.
Looking forward to it, and looking forward to reading all of Martian's takes on Twitter at Lalim's Martian. Some final thoughts on tonight's show.
Martian?
For me? Yeah, I mean, we did a great job, boys. I think considering what we had to work with here tonight, 0 goals for the Ottawa Senators and a good tank loss.
Yeah, it was a tank cast. The Ottawa Senators lose 4-0. Rangers fans have to be so stoked that this is the opponent they get matched up with for this game. It must be awesome to be a Rangers fan right now. Congrats to them. But yeah, this is tough when we're really struggling to get Sen Central standouts. So obviously a loss tomorrow still would be good, but they got to give us something.
It's usually me abstaining from the standouts, but tonight it was you guys. So that's how you know it's like you guys are taking a beating here this season. This is
we will have
beating.
Yeah, we will have plenty more to say tomorrow on Locked On Senators. Going to be an early drop for you. The final game day preview of this 2023-24 season and a whole lot more. For the Martian and Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. Shout out to the Glebe Central Pub, 779 Bank Street. Awesome vibes, great spot, local watering hole. You can't beat it. 779 Bank Street. Let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. If you're in the chat, we appreciate you. Game 1, game 82. We know that the citizens, we travel well, and we could not appreciate you guys more. Let's get some Go Sens goes in the chat on the way out. Sens lose 4-0. Better days ahead. The draft is only 2.5 months away. So stay tuned to Locked On Senators. We're a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.